Hello, my friend. Thank you for joining me today. I would like to talk to you about polarities. And polarities, it is something that creates separative thinking in us. So probably you've heard how such expressions, or I love him because he's kind, or a woman should be gentle, and men, for example, cannot cry. So what polarities do? They create that separative thinking such as like black and white, strong and weak, so something like that. And for example, if it's a woman with a polarized thinking, she would tend to think women, for example, are weak and have to be protected. So that polarized thinking creates imitation of a weakness and results in a suppression of a strong qualities, such as maybe courage or maybe assertiveness when it's needed. Or a man with a strong man-woman polarity may tend to imitate male qualities a lot and suppress female qualities such as kindness, softness, and etc. So such a man, for example, in a situation when somebody might require more consideration or compassion or different attitude when it comes to dealing with kids or women, may find themselves uncomfortable because by suppressing those qualities they make them unavailable to themselves. Or a person with a material or spiritual polarity may strongly imitate either spiritual or material side and will suppress the other. So basically the polarities create a conflict, and this conflict results in following thinking. So for example, you may hear boys are strong, they never cry, and the expression will be he has to be brave, or girls are weak so they cannot protect themselves, and the expression could be she has to be beautiful and humble, or a spiritual person doesn't need to take care of his or her material body, or mothers are kind and fathers are strict, girls are not allowed to be brave and strong. So as a result, you can make a conclusion, or if I'm a girl, that I'm not allowed to protect myself, I'm not allowed to be strong, or if I'm a boy, I'm not allowed to show gentleness or to show kindness or to be understanding and soft because they may relate to the girly qualities. So polarized thinking, it creates internal and external conflicts. It also results in polarized ideas that conflict with each other, because when we polarize something, we do not give place for the qualities that are opposite to the polarities. And let's consider, for example, polarized thinking does not allow a man to be kind, or it does not allow a woman to be brave. It does not allow a man to be handsome. So men cannot be flexible and women cannot be assertive. Or for example, if we are speaking about negative and positive polarized thinking, it divides people into negative and positives. And the negative ones, they do not allow themselves to see good in things. And those who are positive, they do not allow themselves to see the negative side or to see risk. And that's why they may end up getting into problems, issues, because they underestimate the risk and they may have issues with resolving the issues. So in reality, if we consider negative and positive, negative people can be good analysts and positive people may have a lot of inspiration for others, but because they block their abilities to see risks, for example, for the positive, or to see good for the negative, they become polarized and may find themselves inadequate in most of the situations. So polarized thinking creates a low self-esteem. And again, why? Just imagine if you cancel a part of yourself, if you're a woman and you get into a situation where you cannot respond back or you cannot show courage, you may end up tolerating the behavior that can be damaging for your self-esteem. It's one thing. Another thing, qualities that we depreciate, that we suppress, usually get depreciated. We depreciate them because whatever we don't want to show, we call them, it's women don't show, they're not brave. So it means that the bravery, the courage that you have gets depreciated. It's not included into your personality. So women with polarized thinking may appreciate weakness in themselves and others and depreciate themselves for feeling or having courage, as I said, strength or assertiveness. Or men with polarized thinking may appreciate senselessness in themselves and others and will depreciate kindness, emotions, and feelings. They may say, oh, you're so emotional. Oh, you have so many feelings. So it's not a value for them because they suppressed it in themselves. Or optimists, for example, they will hate pessimists or pessimists. They will not allow themselves to admit the positive truth about anything that they see. So this external and internal war of dualities creates a lot of conflicts, misunderstandings. It consumes a lot of energy because suppression in general takes a lot of energy. For example, you have this anger because something is not going right, and the anger is given to us in order to put things in order. It's not just to hurt someone or to offend anyone. It's the main idea of it is to put the boundaries, is to put things in order. So if it comes to a woman with a polarized thinking, women need protection, they are weak, then a woman may find herself unprotected in a very simple situation when she has to just show a little bit of anger to put things in order, just to indicate that this is not acceptable for me, and that's it. So it creates a lack of ability to accept reality as it is. And again, why? Because whatever we depreciate in ourselves, we will depreciate in others, and we will criticize it, and we will have difficulty accepting those things in other people in reality. And since the reality is a smooth combination of both black and white and different other colors and combinations of negative and positive, of cold and warmth and everything, so it all comes in friendship. People with polarized thinking, they are unable to accept those dualities, although the whole nature, everything around us consists of them. So people with polarized thinking can be fully, for example, into material life or fully into spiritual, ignoring the needs of the material body. So materialists, for example, they can depreciate spiritual life, or spiritualists, they can depreciate the material life. So this separateness, right? It deprives a person of their life resources, because in some situations we need to be critical thinking. In some situations we need to be a little bit of a brave, to show courage, or sometimes even to show anger. And it doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman. There are different situations, and all of those qualities are applicable. Polarities are usually, how do we get the polarities, right? That's the question. They're usually inherited from the family as a belief, such as, for example, boy may hear boys never cry, or girls never work, or kids cannot be intelligent, and etc. So you can notice polarities through the speech. So for example, a person may say, I love him because he's kind, or I love her because she's beautiful. So what happens if the beauty is gone? What happens if the woman gets pregnant and she swallows, or something happens? Or what happens if, when the situation is difficult for the person stops being kind? Does it mean that love is gone? So because the person in a difficult situation may become angry, and as a result, he's no longer kind, he may not be loved anymore. So therefore, polarized thinking has a conditioning. So as soon as the condition doesn't serve the polarity, the attitude changes. So love can become hatred, or care can become ignorance. So it's very important to check whether it's a polarized thinking, or I am accepted as I am fully, or I am accepting the reality, the people around me as they are. So we have to observe our speech, how we justify our choices. So think now, what becomes possible if you combine these two polarities in one? Basically, we can see the combination in the nature, and it's not a question, because we see how the day becomes night, and how night becomes a day, how spring grows into summer, and how summer grows into the fall. So we can see those kind of flows, right? In reality, the combination, the friendship of the polarities will create a natural synergy as yin-yang, night and day, and will give the ability to see both risks and positive sides in any situation. So it will allow men, for example, to be kind and women to be brave. And in some cases, women need to be strong. And in some cases, men need to be flexible. So that will give them the opportunity for the diversity. This connection will allow balance, will allow internal and external unity, acceptance of both good and bad, and adequate self-esteem, because nobody is ideal. And if we depreciate something in that area, we give ourselves a low self-esteem. We depreciate ourselves. And when somebody does it from outside, it feels like pain, because this is what we do with ourselves. So the process of connecting polarities makes the person complete. It releases the need in cruelty, because polarized thinking, it's a thinking that tends to show my domination, so that I am dominating, I am better, you are worse, I'm a woman and you are a man, I am this and you are that. So this comparing makes people think that I am better than that, or you are worse than this, and it's a result, like it results in makes actually people feel like let down a little bit. Therefore, the process of the connecting them, creating friendship between those two polarities, right? And there are multiple of them, which you can notice in life and speech, in thinking, makes a person complete. And you can start with yourself, and then you can radiate it into your life. And because whatever we think, it's our consciousness, it becomes our environment. And how we treat ourselves, this is how we're going to be treated, because it creates from the metaphysics, you can see an energy field, or from the spiritual psychology scenarios. And in any case, there is a huge benefit if you combine the dualities into one complete single whole, because this is how the nature functions and we are a part of it. And finally, I would like to say, if you need help with connecting those two sides of yourself, if you're seeing that, or I am struggling with showing anger, or I'm struggling with being brave because I was told that I am a woman or I'm a man, I'm not allowed to do this, or I cannot show a certain quality which will have a positive effect on my life. So probably you're dealing with polarities where one thinking excludes the other. Okay, I can survive only when something doesn't exist. So this actually, it's a process of killing a part of yourself, and it makes you incomplete. So if you see that something like this is happening, or you may just separate responsible and irresponsible, or strong and weak, such thinking, right? So which will mean that sometimes when the situation requires you to be weak, you may feel I'm not allowed. And that's why people may take advantage of you, because you're always strong. You're sick and you don't show the sickness. You're angry and you don't show the anger, because you're not allowed to show weakness. Okay? Or for some men, for example, or even women, doesn't matter, right? They may think, okay, I can be strong in a certain situations, and when the situation comes, they are not capable of this. Something blocks them, and I've seen people like that, and I've heard them saying, something blocks me. I cannot express myself. It's like a block in my throat. Something doesn't allow me just to be myself, because myself is a combination of all. It's not just plus and it's not just minus. It's plus and minus. It's black and white, and it's all together. Therefore, when we accept ourselves as we are able to accept others as they are, and that brings us to the healthy relationships, happy living, and the stress level goes down, and basically it results in self-satisfaction, in satisfaction with life, with ourselves. And again, if you need help with that, I will be very happy to help you to achieve this connection, because spiritual psychology and it's my specialty, specializes in acceptance. And forgiveness is also based on that, because once you accept, you will understand that it's not only how you are, the world can be different, okay? And the ability to see world as it is, as first of all, starts with your ability to accept and see yourself as you are. Therefore, if you need help with connecting, you know, yourself, your different separated parts that have been probably conflicting internally within you. Get in touch with me and book a session with me, and I will be very happy to assist you with that. So that was all. If you have any questions or if you have any realizations, please share them under this video. And if you have again any questions, I will be happy to cover them in my next video. So for today, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Give me your likes, share it with your friends. I believe it's a very important information for everybody because it leads to happiness, self-acceptance, and acceptance of others. All the best to you.